What's going on, YouTube? Back again with another interesting personal story. This one is more relatable with my first video, health, disconnection, and trauma, but it's more based around things I experienced along my spiritual journey, and what I've learned and became more aware of up until now. And before I found out about my issues as a childhood trauma issues, I was faced with some issues that I couldn't really comprehend or understand until I had to keep going through these constant phases. The issues I was faced with was constantly having to deal with negativity from negative people, dark spirits attached to these people, and issues I've created within myself. And because I was an empath, if I was around a certain person who had unstable energies, I would take on that energy if I wasn't grounded on my own. My first time dealing with a dark spirit was around the years 2015, 2016, where I remember I was in my room listening to music, and the thought gay crossed my mind. Right? And I really didn't know where it came from. But when I got it, I just accepted it as my own. Meaning, I am gay. With passion. Right? When I received this thought, I started to see like a black, purplish cloud attached to my third eye, and I wasn't aware of where it came from, nor did I understand what it was. I just seen it, and this was it was weird. As I went about my day, I remember I stood up and I felt this weird sensation, almost like a feminine energy come over me. And it made me even more uncomfortable than I already had been. So in the moment of feeling this energy, I started to recall memories from my past, a few of which made me tense and even feel a bit more uncomfortable because I was already feeling uncomfortable receiving this weird sensation. What I was recalling was my third grade teacher having a picture of me on his wall who was gay. I remember recalling calling Corbin Blue cute on a blog post when I was around my sister. And if weed made you homosexual or feminine. I didn't know why I was having all these thoughts and these feelings. And when I received these thoughts or these memory recalls, I started recreate I tried to basically visualize what I wanted to see in these memories I was recalling, just basically trying to change up the memories. And this only led to more discomfort and so it led to more discomfort, feelings of insecurity, and being mentally unstable because I kept going back. I kept thinking about it. I remember going to school one day and I was standing in front of my gym teacher, and these same feelings and thoughts came right back up. And I even heard a voice in my head saying that this teacher was cute. And because like I said, I was dealing with other issues. Like I was doing, like, for one, low self-esteem and lack of confidence. So I went to people, and started having like more conversations about what I was thinking. If gay meant this or gay meant that, and really out of fear, and I started to notice. The more I talked about it, the more I started to see it, like see these thoughts and like the thought forms. I remember going to class one day and there being a documentary on a homosexual couple. And a week later, I remember my counselor was talking about something about a child and having homosexual couples and this, that, and third. And I also started to notice that, as I was on like the internet, seeing these thought forms on YouTube and seeing it in movies, and also hearing it out the mouths of other people. And it was the same thing for the word gay too, because this was my most dominant thought form, and my energy was attached to it. I also started to notice people around me being influenced by the same energy and thought forms I was thinking, and it was like it only attacked people with like a certain like problem or insecurity they was dealing with within, or this thing, energy, whatever, right? So this cycle continued all the way throughout my life until I became more clear about my trauma as a child back in 2022. So around 2022, I had another experience with a dark spirit, which gave me the realization of what I was experiencing in 2015, 2016. Only this time I had clarity on where it came from. This dark spirit was attached to my mother, who was dealing with a lot of trauma, negative emotions, and stress. And because I was around her so much, it had attached to me, which formed a cord. I also started to notice blue, like web-like figures, like being released off her and attached to me when she had like an emotional outburst, or she was so in order to release this attachment, I had to like spiritually do like a spiritual cord cutting ritual, which freed myself from this dark spirit. And I consistently had to sage my body every time I've noticed my mom under emotional stress. But I had to cleanse myself on a daily. Looking back even further in my life, 2015, 2016 wasn't the only time I had experienced these weird experiences, or these dark spirit experiences. When I was in middle school, I noticed strange things happening back in 2010, and this is basically I recall a time riding a bus and noticing seeing it's kind of complicated to describe, but just a weird vibe and energy, energy at the time. And this was around the time where Chris Bosh was being gay bashed, saying if he was gay. And this is where the big whole I would say epidemic, but that ain't really the word to use. I would say the big whole phenomenon with Chris Bosh being gay, and it was back in the, yeah. Pretty much. So what these spirits would do were crazy. And my experience with them allowed me to understand, like, they only preyed on fears and insecurities, negative emotions, and like addictions. Because I remember I was just cutting off masturbation, right? And I was like clean for like a good like 7 years. Not 7 years, I'm lying. Fuck that. I was good for like 7 months, right? And I remember like I would wake up like having dreams, like wet dreams, like consistently. And this, I was already being like, you know, I already took care of my addiction. And I would always wake up consistently with like nutting, like, or just, okay, ejaculation. And like the dreams would just be seeming off. I'm like, man, like what the fuck, you know? So they will prey on that. I would start to notice like more like people were basically in like how you say, I would draw in more like people that would trigger like, you know, fears like homophobia that I was still like, you know, being released from. And so, and also like basically attack my mental health. So to sum this all up, in my own opinion, I think these spirits are being released onto the masses from people in higher places that we just don't know much about. And because I feel like 5G radiation definitely is one of the weapons, or one of the weapons, because it deprives people from their own oxygen, which is also, so 5G is basically known for creating oxidative stress, which deprives a person from their oxygen within their body. So you instantly, your blood flow just stops, and it basically has a trick on the brain. And so because, you know, the frequency from these 5G towers are being raised, people are not getting enough oxygen, which is if they have like any type of like health problem or trauma or whatever, they're gonna be freaked out. Cause I myself dealt with paranoia and fear, and, you know, type of stuff I'm basically healing from. And so I know from firsthand experience what these towers would do. And I, you know, so these towers are basically the cause for lowering a person's frequency and attacking their body on a more basically on all aspects, physically, mentally, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And so, which is creating a lot of emotional stress, which allows these little spirits to feed off that energy from people and attach to people. And if you are on a very high frequency, or you vibrate higher, they're coming for your energy. Because I myself had these experiences. So to bring in some recommendations, I recommend you guys check out my first video and scroll to the last, the very end, where I talk about, you know, learning about your psychic abilities and starting to get on a more alkaline diet, because that's what's going to help, and nature too, get in tune with nature, because all this will help you be more in tune with yourself. And if you are the person, you know, yeah, be more in tune with yourself and become more aware, because people are losing their minds out here due to all this stuff that's happening. All this stuff. Now, I'm just throwing the information out there. Do what you will with it. I'm just here to spread awareness on reality with my own personal experiences and story. With that being said, peace, love, and positivity. I'm out.